The Minnesota Vikings have dealt with a lot of unfortunate things happening this offseason via injury or tragically just not fun. And most of it is actually taking place within that cornerback room. And that's one room the Vikings have had a lot of trouble with, I guess, in the past of finding success, finding the right guys, finding somebody that is able to stop the deep ball. Okay, I think that's just plain and simple what you need to know, right? We have not had great corners over the past 5 years, maybe you could say, since maybe Xavier Rhodes was here and we had the celebration, Rhodes closed. That was probably the last good corner Minnesota has had. And well, we thought Mekhi Blackman was going to be that guy. He goes down, tears his ACL, and boy, things are not looking great because we're already down one corner. Now we're down two. And then right after that, we suffer a hamstring injury to Shaq Griffin. So we're down another corner, which again, apparently he should be back at practice, which is good. Means he could be ready for week one, maybe week two. Who knows at this point in time? But Kevin O'Connell did say things are looking up. But that led the Vikings to believe or to make a flurry of moves at the cornerback position. I believe I went back and counted. I think we signed 4 or 5 corners this offseason. I think Fabian Moreau was one of them. Jacoby Francis was one. Duke Shelley, Deshaun Wright, or Nashawn Wright, excuse me, who we actually traded Andrew Booth Jr. to the Dallas Cowboys to get in return, both basically similar players and stuff like that. But there was still one more move to be made. What is this cornerback room going to look like? We still don't really have a number two. Like, who's going to be the guy to step up and really make some plays? Well, not too long ago, actually about 7 days ago, Minnesota decided we're going to host Stephon Gilmore for a visit. And that was actually some exciting news for me because I like when Minnesota goes out of their comfort zone and looks at these, once great players, now, just veteran, very, very reliable players to add to the team because they know we need help. So why not? We did it with Patrick Peterson just a couple years ago, if you don't remember. So bringing in a guy like Stephon Gilmore was always something that I would be okay with, be fantastic about, right? And then 6 days goes by. I haven't heard any news. How did the visit go? What's going to happen? Well, bam, yesterday, Ian Rappaport, yesterday morning, led it off with this tweet. The Vikings are making a major free agent acquisition at a time when they rarely happen. Former Pro Bowl cornerback Stephon Gilmore is signing a one-year deal worth $10 million with the Minnesota Vikings. He is now back with defensive coordinator Brian Flores, who I can't remember if he was his defensive coordinator with New England or his cornerbacks coach. It doesn't really matter. They've spent time together, and this was definitely a big reason as to why Gilmore, A, decided to take a visit, and B, why Minnesota decided to take a chance and sign Stephon Gilmore after working out contract things. This is a fantastic move. I'm not saying the Vikings are done at the cornerback position, but I would assume that they're probably going to look away from the cornerback position and look other positions on the field, like maybe some more depth at offensive line, maybe some defensive line depth, stuff like that, because I think our cornerback room is quite filled at this point in time. And now we know exactly who's going to be our number one, which is Byron Murphy, and our number two, which is going to be Stephon Gilmore. And then if Shaq Griffin comes back, there's a good chance he's our number three. And then you kind of go down the line, next person up mentality with, a Caleb Evans and stuff like that. But with this signing, that means, hey, the Vikings are not going to be tanking this season, right? With all these injuries, it starts to make you believe, hey, well, let's just blow it up this year. Let's just hope for a good season. Let's go get a good pick. Let's go get Travis Hunter in this year's upcoming draft. But with signing Stephon Gilmore, it makes you believe, hey, the Vikings aren't over with. There's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a whole season to go, right? The Vikings won, what was it, 13 or it was like 11 or 13 games just a couple years ago by one score. That's incredible. Seasons like that can happen. So why couldn't it happen this year? I think another year under Brian Flores with this type of defense that we have should flourish, should at least look a little bit better than what it did last year. I think we've seen it in these 2 preseason games. Now, granted, those are preseason games, but I think the defense has looked pretty pretty good at this point in time. So maybe when the starters get in there, things look a little bit better. I mean, we have a lot of new acquisitions with a Blake Cashman, a Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard, rookie Dallas Turner, Stephon Gilmore, all these corners we've been signing. The defense is completely different other than Harrison Smith and a couple pieces sprinkled in there every little couple positions. But offensively, it's like, okay, we're going to be good pending Sam Darnold. If Sam Darnold can find his receivers, move the ball downfield, we're going to be okay. If that run game can get going early on in the season, or even early on in every single game this year, we're going to be fine. There's a little hope here, I think, if you're a Vikings fan, that, hey, we can win some ball games. We could make the playoffs. It's not my expectation. I think we're going to fall short of making the playoffs, which, hey, if we do, that would make me much more happier. But this signing right here of Stephon Gilmore just blatantly tells you the Vikings do not plan on tanking. We are all in on this season. We're just, hey, dealing with what the football gods are giving us. And that's a lot of injuries at this point in time. That's football. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But Stephon Gilmore is officially a Minnesota Viking on a 1-year, $10 million deal. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of the night, folks, and Skol Vikes.